So we're going to start with our first question.
Okay.
It should be fairly easy. Okay, in one sentence, who are you? Who is Erica? Who is Ashley? Who is Aaron? Who is Kelly? Who is Michael? Megan? Julia? Trent? Who is Jeremy Spillman?
Who is Wendy? I was not prepared for this question. Can I ask you a question real quick?
No.
That's not as easy as you think it should be.
Wow. This is when you didn't give us ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Garrett is a person who is after beauty, who is after wholeness, who is after belonging in the people around him, who seeks to find things bigger than himself.
I think, just put simply, I'm a small town kid that grew up working hard and learned to make my way in a little bit larger town.
I think just a down-to-earth, hard-working dreamer.
I feel like that's a tough question. Jarrell, I believe, is very diverse. For some reason, I enjoy hunting. I enjoy fishing. I enjoy different styles of music. Yeah. So when it comes down to being able to adapt to my environment, it's not hard.
Chris is someone who recently discovered who he is and is on a journey to try to figure out more.
I am an entrepreneur, but probably a little high-strung too, and always on the go, a mom, a wife, just a really busy person. I like to have my hands in a little bit of everything.
I am a grounded, disciplined, hardworking, and spiritually in tune person.
A wife, a mom, a competitor, an encourager, and a believer.
Hardworking social worker who loves her family, who is living out her purpose and is thankful for everything that God has given her.
Dedicated, genuine, trustworthy, and a family man.
I am a father, husband, hardworking man who tries to be funny.
A hardworking, loving father and husband.
You are
That's
all those
right,
things, but
I
that's
am.
super boring.
Is that boring?
Honestly, I am super, super passionate about what I do.
There's so many layers to Erica. I think it's impossible to answer who is Erica in one sentence.
Yeah.
So I think I failed that question.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
That's perfect. You just answered it. That's fair.
Julia is fun, energetic, outgoing, and probably a little silly most of the time.
Black, positive young man reaching for success.
Definitely somebody that's not abiding probably by the social standards of a 26-year-old girl. I know what I like and pretty vocal about it. Hardworking, definitely driven, never satisfied, which is probably a flaw.
Megan is a quiet, stealthy, tough, sweet soul.
A hopeless optimist.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah.
I am a nerdy, techie girl who just likes to travel and try new things. I mean, I like change, I like adventure. So that's me.
Your house is on fire.
Okay.
Your wife and kids are out. What are 3 things that you would take out with you?
Pets are safe or no?
Pets are safe.
I'd have to get the cats because that's what they would want. I'd have to go. My arms would have multiple cats underneath each arm.
Let's say
so.
the cats make it out
They
too.
made it. Okay.
Does the dog have to go?
Does it have to
Can he just stay inside?
Oh, he can. Oh.
Don't cut that.
Okay. My record collection.
My mom gave me a ring when I graduated from college.
That's like a song. Keys, wallet, phone. If you find that, play it over the segment. Keys, wallet, phone.
Phone, wallet, keys, yeah. Phone, wallet, keys.
You have my permission.
My Syrah painting of Sunday in the Park with George.
My Honda Ruckus.
I gotta take my Traeger.
My box of watches.
Couple of nice bottles of bourbon.
You'd be surprised. My house, if someone broke in my house, they would be so disappointed.
So we actually lived through a fire. We had a house fire, and we got very lucky. Like the wedding album got a little bit of damage from smoke, but it ultimately made it. It still stinks like fire to this day. That was still the first thing you went after.
Yeah.
The rest was just stuff you can replace.
I have a backup server with all their photos on it. I just grab that thing and jerk it out of the wall. I wouldn't even turn around. I just grab it and run.
Laptop?
Shelter or buy a new one.
Shelter by a new one.
Let my cell phone and my computer be burned.
Legal documents isn't a good answer.
You know why I have a hard time with this? Because I work in insurance. So at the end of the day, all the material stuff,
Everything's insured.
everything's insured. It'll come back eventually. What can't be replaced?
Jesse has a guitar that was his dad's when his dad was his age or a young boy, and they restored it. And
Yeah, my wife's grandfather's hutch is coming out of the house because that thing is adored by all of us.
My grandma passed away in February, and there's a box, just a small tote box. It's just photos and mementos of little parts of her that were at her apartment when she passed that we collected and I took.
And you know, I have another tub in the basement of letters and cards from my grandparents and my parents.
Strange enough, I have a cigar box of my grandfather's that I would grab. That's special to me and holds actually a lot of other memories inside of it, a lot of letters and things.
You know, both my wife and I, we have these manila envelopes, and mine is full of just letters and notes and pictures and little tidbits from college and high school and family and holidays and things like that.
My prayer book, it's worn, it's been with me 10 years. There's a sentimental, I mean, I could replace it for $12.99 or something, but there's a sentimental value to that.
You know, my newborn son, which was my first child, I would hate to lose everything that, you know, from his first year of birth.
I guess I would take one car. Can I take a car out?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a car out. These are lame answers.
No, they're good.
They're terrible.
People don't think about logistics, and you are.
My daughter's Winnie the Pooh bear.
My kids have their favorite stuffies and blankets. If I could grab those just to give them some comfort.
I like that. Do you know what? Guess for Aaron what he would get.
His hunting gear.
I'd probably go grab 3 of my favorite guns and walk away from it.
What has been the hardest part of COVID for you?
When everything shut down, the state of Missouri saw a 50% drop in child abuse and neglect calls, which just is clearly from no reporting. When the calls stopped, that was the hardest part because I felt like we didn't know what to do.
You knew it was happening, but you didn't know to who and you didn't know where.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The kiddos that aren't in school, that aren't getting traditional ways of socializing and being together.
They're on their Zoom calls for 6 hours a day and they can't see their friends. I go to Zoom calls, every day and I can't sit on them for more than 20 minutes.
Just not being in control.
When COVID started, we didn't know what it was. We didn't know what we were dealing with.
I like to have a plan and to stick to it. And so this certainly, can poke holes in your plan.
Having to change everything overnight, not knowing what to do, how to do it.
We're having to think differently. Like we can't use the same tools we had in our toolbox to solve new problems. So it's really been challenging to react very quickly and then pivot again quickly thereafter.
I just get stifled when I'm in one place for too long.
In a way, a sense of loneliness.
Missing the social side. I so miss the functions.
So, before COVID, I would say yes to anything, any meeting, networking event, just a party, anything I could go to.
I miss the contact. I miss hugs. I'm a big hugger.
We all need time for ourselves, but we do need other people.
My inability to see the people that I love without anxiety of somebody walking away from that being sick.
There's this monotony and this routine that is set in where habits can slide or you just sort of lose track of time.
So how do you manage stress?
Not very well.
How do I deal with stress? Like have a cigar and a drink? Is that what you're talking about?
Probably overloading my schedule. Probably sounds odd, but I get really stressed and I just get more and more busy, and I just realize my mind's not thinking about the stress. I'm still staying with tasks.
1 second, please. Your answer to managing stress is to get busier.
Yes. I know it sounds crazy.
So that you don't have time to think about how stressed you are.
Right.
Knowing boundaries. Like, I had the hardest time saying no. I still struggle with that today. Like, when there's an opportunity to serve, an opportunity to do something, I want to do it. But I have to be mindful of kind of, if I'm saying yes to this, what am I saying no to?
Trying to control what I can and realizing there are certain things that I'm not going to be able to control, and like being okay with that. Some things aren't worth the stress.
Yeah.
And so those things that are too stressful, you got to go.
I just had to really start setting boundaries and, saying I can't think about this right now. I can't work on this right now. I'm going to relax and I'm going to think about other things.
I try and whenever the workday ends, just forget about it.
Find different outlets, little things that bring me joy, finding gratitude, and even just the littlest, simplest things, being able to walk, talk, get up every day.
I like to read. I have kind of rediscovered a love of reading, and I like to color. I do. I like to just sit there and color when I need to not do anything else.
Finding some time just to journal and to be introspective and to think about myself inwardly helps with what I can do outwardly.
I like to organize things and clean. I think that's part of my wellness, just because it's a stress reliever. I always know where my things are. I think clearer in a clean space.
I just focus. I mean, that's always been my go-to, is just to focus and figure out the problem. The more that I understand about something, the less stressed I am about it.
Talking. Yeah, I think to the ones around you is, even though you sound maybe crazy, just spewing out a bunch of stuff and thinking out loud, just being able to have, I think, other people to process it with you.
Everyone in this room can attest that we've been through a rough time in our life that we didn't think we'll get out of. That you prayed to God that, like, Lord, please help me out of this one, and I guarantee you,
You'll be good.
I'll be
I promise.
perfect. And everybody had that moment in life, maybe even dozens of moments like that, and you eventually get through it, right?
But man, if it's a bad day, like, going for a drive down to the river, sun is setting, moon's up, like, you go down and sit on the Missouri River, just sit and just watch the water flow.
What was the best part of COVID for you?
I believe the best part for me professionally was just, researching and having to think on my toes and figure out what the best thing is to move forward.
Just really learning how to pivot. I think this time will really test your skills as an entrepreneur, as a parent, do you know how to pivot or go with the flow? And can your endeavors survive like something like this?
Really realizing what a lot of my employees' talents are. They come up with creative solutions. They come up with different ways to do things. They come up with thoughtful scheduling tactics, business hour expansion, a lot of different things that maybe I wouldn't have thought of.
Just all the love and support you see from the people in Columbia.
So many people getting groceries and bringing food and getting necessities and helping their neighbors. And I love the push for small businesses. Think about all those businesses that have stepped up for your little leagues and all of that. Like, let's help them as well.
Just making us aware of how much we have and how much we have to be grateful for.
It's given me an excuse to reach out and check in and be like, hey, how's it going? How are you doing with COVID? And kind of restart that friendship that may have been dormant for a while.
We can't connect in this way, so we're going to find a way to connect in a different way.
The excuse to be able to do my own thing without.
Oh yeah, you introverts have been training for this your whole lives.
It's the truth. I will not deny any of it. It's the truth,
Honestly, getting all the time with my husband was amazing.
Have breakfast with my kids, because I'm up so early in the day that I never get to see them.
And just be in the dwelling with one another, play Monopoly, play a full game, not speed it up, but we're playing this whole thing. We're mortgaging,
Everybody is home for dinner.
Nights we would all get in the hot tub and just talk, and that never happened before COVID. So having that chance to just to put the world on pause, get to embrace those, that time that is just flying by was hands down the best part of COVID.
But my favorite thing, my girlfriend ain't gonna laugh at me, was TikTok. I somehow went viral on TikTok.
How did you go viral?
I'm cool like that.
What is something that you think every person should have to experience in their life?
In whatever way that it is, in whatever way that people are capable, I would say seek something beautiful.
I really think if you've never been and seen a symphony performance, everyone should experience a symphonic performance. Yes. There's a lot that music can teach you, and maybe that you can give to that music if you're open to where it will take you.
I love festivals, I love concerts, and I love that vibe when you don't know the people, and all of a sudden you've met a new best friend and you're just jamming out to the song and you're loving the song. Nothing else in the world matters. All you hear is the tune of music.
Yeah.
And your heart just swelling with love, and everyone's just passionate about it.
Every person, whether they play the sport or not, should experience a team victory.
To genuinely realize that there's something that other people can help you with. Humans are social beings, social creatures. We're not meant to do things alone. We're not meant to try to figure things out in the wilderness by ourselves. So finding that thing that get your pride out of the way, be humble, say this is something I need help with, and then be able to feel that gratitude towards somebody else, I think is a big lesson.
Everybody should experience working in the service industry and serving people.
Be a waitress, be a waiter, a cook, anything, and see, how tough it can be, and then maybe you'll have a little more grace for that person.
You learn a lot about people. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about how to bite your tongue. But learning how to care for somebody and still take their needs regardless of if it's an inconvenience to you.
There's so many women that I look up to, but I love Nina Simone. And so one of her quotes is, she says, you know what freedom is to me, and it's no fear. And so I think whether that's financial freedom, emotional freedom, some type of freedom where you're not experiencing fear in that area. Even if it's down to, I remember a few years back, I chopped my hair off, just chopped it off, went natural, and it looked good, but it was just like a sense of freedom from, different beauty standards that I had grown up with. And so even now, the way that I choose to wear my hair, it's a sense of freedom and embracing who I am in my natural state.
Every person should experience some form of ism. Ableism, sexism, classism. Experience some form of ism, and then you'll feel inclined to change it.
Things should fall apart. Our identities, our plans, the imagination you had around having a long marriage crumbles, or the ideas you had about your aging process and health are undermined by something you can't control, or you realize you're white for the first time and you're faced with that and you have to fall apart against that. I think that's a really important part of being human and becoming mature or becoming an adult.
I definitely recommend getting hit in the face every once in a while. And I'm not saying
I know what you mean. Yeah,
literally,
100%.
But something smacks you in the face and wakes you up.
The other thing is, man, you got to get out of this country.
Go somewhere and just immerse yourself there, and truly not on vacation, but to actually get to know the people.
Just seeing the history and the customs of different people kind of just really opens up your eyes to different things.
It's nice to meet new people. It's nice to see how other communities are doing things. It's nice to see how other people are living in this world.
Be able to experience situations that my family couldn't provide for me in that regard.
Yeah.
It's like you have to branch out and do your own thing.
I really feel like that there's something out there for everyone, whether it's a full-blown operating company, or whether it's something as simple as a single real estate investment or some kind of side hustle. I think that everybody should go do something for themselves and figure out their way by doing that.
So I'm really interested in hearing your answer to this one. What lessons have you had to learn the hard way?
Man, I learned everything the hard way.
Me too.
If you don't learn it the hard way, you're not learning it. You're just breezing by. I mean, everything from finances to being a youth, not saving, you know, to even like how you value the relationships of people who are around you.
I almost think you learn more things by making mistakes than you do by doing it right. I've always had the opinion you can learn something from every experience.
One would be that you have to make a decision. You have to be decisive, and you have to be able to live with that decision. You can't live your life with regrets. I feel like I learned that the hard way. I also feel like I learned that you have to forgive yourself.
Learning how to be honest and how to be kind of direct. That's something through the course of my lifetime I've seen how that's how when I haven't been able to do that, or I haven't had the courage to be honest about myself, my identity, also what I'm thinking, my opinions, it's been harmful to people with whom I've been in relationship and also to my own self.
On the business side, I went and really did everything probably too early. If I had to do again, I would recommend, if somebody was going to follow my footsteps, I'd go look at somebody that's great at what they do and go work for them, learn on their dime. Instead, I was just always so ambitious. I felt like I couldn't wait. Like it was going to be so much better to try to get a taste of success at a young age. Like to me, I connected it with a certain age. Like if I wait till this time, I've missed out on this opportunity. So like, let's just dive in head first and do it. And that was stupid.
That you set your own rules for winning, that you set your own expectations, and you can't let other people set expectations for you.
To take the time to do things right and well the first time so that you don't have to go back and repeat something, or, you know, when you're in the real world, when you're working, that you don't, you know, lose out on an opportunity.
Not wanting to miss certain things. Of course, having a child at a young age is financially straining. It's, you know, like I said, I've been able to accomplish the degree and the bachelor's degree and the master's degree, but was it tough? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, and I know if I was to be honest, I think a lot of times that especially my oldest, suffered some days because of that. And so I think just slowing down.
What we say in our office a lot is there are some balls that can bounce and some balls can break. And there are things like family and things that care, like those things will break. And so you can't let those drop. But the things that bounce, that's okay.
When I say yes to everyone else, I really am saying no to myself.
Life is not about me, and I can't control everything. The reality is, you know, when you live a selfish lifestyle, you hurt so many people around you. And so I learned that the hard way.
I was trying real hard to put myself into any conversation that I was a part of, like be a part of the conversation. I learned that the hard way, just to shut up and let people talk and just listen and ask questions of people. Be present in the conversation, just ask questions of people.
Whose opinions matter and whose opinions you'll hold on to and say, this is going to sharpen me, this is going to make me better, and whose are like, I don't know if I really need that opinion.
What in life is beautiful to you?
Ooh, I think my children, having that little mind and the little bodies and watching them with adventure, I think that's really beautiful, that learning process, and it makes you take a step back of things should be a little simpler, things should be a little bit less stressful.
So many things. Oddly enough, struggle. Struggle is beautiful because it really, everybody struggles at some point or another in varying different degrees. But every time you come across a struggle, you come across an opportunity to do something, to change. You come across a recognition point.
I know this is gonna sound real cornball-ish, but being a mom, like my children, is a beautiful thing. The whole process.
My daughter. There was a time whenever I didn't know if we were gonna have kids, right? And we were older parents. I look back and my parents had kids. Hell, I was 20 plus years old by this point in my parents' lives. And it has had the most profound impact on every aspect of my life.
I cherish my children. Just looking at them, I just can't believe that they're mine.
I like to see, I guess, the more beautiful sides of people that maybe even if they don't think that what they're doing means something, that even a small gesture can mean something to the person next to them and they have no idea.
Helping other people, I've really found that to be something that is really important to me, and especially in my field through the arts, helping people to feel connected or feel that they belong, or bring them hope or inspiration.
The result of after adversity, I think, is beautiful. I'm the type to embrace struggle. How can you climb a smooth mountain, right? Which means without struggle, without divots, without road bumps, how can you climb up to the top?
Nature is beautiful, or things that are bigger than me, though. So things that inspire awe, whether that is a mountain or the ocean or stars at night.
So anytime I go into a city, like flying or driving, my kids and wife know I'm just doing this, oh man, look at these buildings. So the cityscapes really get me.
I got invited out to spend 3 months on the Appalachian Trail and that kind of thing. Nature is something that what I need in order to reset myself when it comes to a whole lot of everything else in life.
How did that go?
It was great.
No bears?
There was a few bears.
I think there's beauty in just the free expression of who we are. So whether that's dancing or singing at the top of our lungs, or laughing till we cry, I think that is all beautiful.
Yeah.
Just seeing people find restoration, find healing. There is a lot of hope out there in the world, but there's also a lot of people who are hurting and they need that hope. And so it's really beautiful to me when I can see people have been able to get what they need to restore their lives in whatever way they need that. So yeah, I'd say that.
You could fix one problem in Columbia, what would it be?
I would fix the recycling and trash collection by investing and implementing roll carts.
I've got to tell you, that is the most popular answer.
It's got to be the rolly carts.
Oh my gosh, you're the second person to say that.
It has to be.
Here's the fun thing. In front of my house, there is a sewer where foxes have lived. Like baby foxes were raised in that sewer. Raccoons were raised in that sewer. Now currently there's a cat named Jabo living in that sewer. All wonderful wildlife. But right next to that sewer is where I got to put my bag of trash out in the front yard.
I've lived in multiple places where they had roll carts and it was a total non-issue, and you didn't realize that it would be an issue anywhere else in life.
Only Columbia.
Only Columbia.